Alrighty, so I have been waiting on the dev notes to come out, and they are finally here. They have also published the 2024 user survey, so if you're a consistent player, you want your voice to be heard, I'm going to leave a link in the description for the Global Forums user survey page, this one right here, so that way you can click on the how to participate down here. That should take you to it. I'm probably just going to do mine after I've finished recording this video for the dev notes, but I'll leave a link to that and the dev notes page just in case you want to read it over on your own, so feel free to do that. Obviously, this is just going to be me kind of reading over it, so you can throw this on in the background or do whatever you want to do. So thank you guys so much for coming by and hanging out. If you want to, feel free to subscribe. We're on the road to 20K, and I mean we're about 3K away, and that's quite a big gap. But hey, you could help me out if you like the content or anything like that. You want to come back later on. I completely understand if you don't. It is what it is. So subscribe. Greetings, Knights! It's PD Koo from the 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. In this dev note, we will provide a guide for the season, festivals, direction, and detailed information about the Reorganization update, which was discussed in the previous dev notes. Now let's dive into the dev notes. So, about Ratatoskr. We have shown the new demonic beast Ratatoskr with the update in early April. As we previously mentioned, it is the demonic beast that moves through the footboard and has a new gimmick. We've checked that many Knights challenged the new demonic beast, especially we want to congratulate and show our respects to, and then it has the 3 players who were able to beat it first on the different versions. So we have the JP player, the KR player, and the global player. Shout out to Gon for being the first one to finish it. Gon's a friend of the channel who reached first clear in each server. So with Ratatoskr, we saw a significant increase in participation rates of Knights compared to the existing demonic beast battles. We thought it was because of interest in the gimmick of moving the footboard and the new concept. Especially the first and second floors have a relatively higher winning rate than other demonic beasts at the time of the update. The second floor seems to be an intermediate floor that can be maintained to some extent before the third floor challenge, but providing card management and gimmicks that can be rested or better benefits through the transformation of the first floor strategy. So, it seems like to me the biggest problem that people are having is on floor 2. Once you get to phase 3, those first 3 attack cards that he uses can literally make or break the entire run. Some people get their entire team wiped. Some people lose their Merlin at the time of me recording this because Valenti's not out on global just yet. I did just watch Nagato's showcase on Valenti. It seems like she's actually going to help quite a bit because of the stats from her passive and everything, which is very cool. So I think that the team is just going to get better, obviously, but yeah, as of right now, with the week 1 and 2 team that people were using with Ragnarok Merlin, she was just so bad and just died super easily. So I think going forward, like, we're going to be replacing her. We might even get a replacement for King sometime in the near future. So that could be kind of nice. Just getting rid of some of these like older characters, building up better passives and stuff like that could be the key to making this a lot more consistent. So I know a lot of players are getting kind of stumped on that floor. A lot of players have been able to beat floor 1 and 2. I was almost able to beat floor 3, but honestly, floor 3 without Valenti is just such a gamble, and it's not worth the trouble to me. Like, it takes like hours of runs unless you just get really lucky to be able to get the one run that you need to beat it. And obviously, like, it's cool to get the relics as quickly as possible, but Mael's relic doesn't seem that great on the surface. Like, I haven't used it just yet. I think I'm actually going to be recording a showcase for that probably sometime after these dev notes on Gon's account, but I'll make up my mind then. But even then, it's going to be a little bit skewed because he has such a good account. So I think I should, depending on if I can beat floor 3 with Valenti next week whenever she comes out, I should be able to showcase it on my own account as well and kind of get a better impression of it for myself. So participation rate for the first 5 days. So Icthornir was through the roof, actually. They don't even have the bird on here, but lots of people, at least 12% of the player base attempted Icthornir, which is kind of interesting. The 12% is pretty low, and they're like, oh, like so many players. That's kind of odd. Only about 6 to 7% played Skull and Hati, which is kind of understandable. Skull and Hati was pretty hard when it came out, like pretty hard. And then Nidhogg was like on a different level. Only 4% of players even attempted to do Nidhogg, which I think is completely understandable. Nidhogg is still very hard. I actually published a full, like, updated sort of guide on Nidhogg, like a full run where I explain the mechanics and everything as I go through. That came out today as of the time of me recording this, so if you want to go check that out, it's already up on the channel. They did nerf him recently with the release of Ratatoskr to where I think he just does 10% less damage on all phases, on all floors, so he's just been kind of just nerfed a little bit. Ratatoskr is all the way up at about 8%, which is kind of surprising. It seems like maybe just people either had the team for it, or I don't know. I know a lot of people like maybe don't have their Ragnarok Merlins built up, or like they don't have Jelly King or don't have him built up, and you need LR Liz for it, which is also a little bit specific. And then I think a lot of people did summon for Melee. There are some newer players that maybe didn't get him, but for the most part, it seems like I guess a lot of people seem to have the team for it, or it's just the fact that the first 2 floors are so much easier than previous Demonic Beasts that it's a lot more appealing to actually try it, which I guess is a good thing. It's a bit odd. Like, I feel like Nidhogg was so hard for so long that you know, the relics were like really exclusive, like super sought after. People really wanted those relics. I feel like Ratatoskr's not going to be nearly as bad. Like, they've already come out with Valenti. I don't think she's going to make it like the easiest run of all time by any means, but she's already going to be helping out clearing floor 3, which means that, you know, I don't think, like, a lot more people are going to have the relics for this as they come out, and they've only got 1 relic so far. So if they're already releasing a unit that can help clear floor 3, then you know, I think going forward, people are just going to be able to get the relics as soon as they come out. At least, like, you know, at least the people who have the team are like wanting to actually fight the boss and stuff like that. So kind of interesting. Demonic Beast battle each floor's win rate. So Ratatoskr, it looks like, how does that make any sense? How can you have a lower floor 1 percentage than a floor 2 percentage? How does that even make any sense? So it seems like floor 3 is the hardest to beat by far compared to the other Demonic Beasts. Floor 2 somehow is easier to beat than floor 1? That doesn't make any sense to me. Why wouldn't... Like, if you can beat floor 1 and get to floor 2, how is the floor 1 win rate lower? Or is this just comparatively to the other fights, I guess? I think it is. So it's a little bit easier to clear floor 1 than it was for Nidhogg. And then it's way easier to beat floor 2, apparently, than it was for the previous 3 Demonic Beasts, I guess. But floor 3 is much harder than the other ones. So it's kind of an interesting statistic there. Anyways, we're back to the text here. Regarding the difficulty of the 3rd floor, we have confirmed that many knights have been telling us about the difficulties caused by passive. As previously announced, the ultimate move gauge decrease passive on the 3rd floor currently has an issue that leads to its application on a higher difficulty level than we originally intended. We'd like to apologize once again for this issue, and we'll make sure to check the overall winning rate data thoroughly after the corrections are complete. So basically, if you don't know, there was a passive where whenever you start the phase, it's supposed to take 1 ultimate move gauge orb off, so that way you can't go in with ultimates, but it was actually getting reapplied every time the boss would go into the holes and come back out onto the field. So you basically were just like unable to get ultimates and stuff very consistently, because he would just keep taking your ultimate move gauge off by re-entering the field. And obviously that's not good. So they have fixed it since. I think it's not like a complete death sentence anymore. Like, you won't go into the phase with ultimates, but you can still build them up after that, because then the passive is basically over and done with, and you go about it like a normal fight at that point. So that's already fixed now. I guess they just don't have the statistics for it yet. But we try our best to avoid situations where a certain passive skill makes the Demonic Beast impossible to overcome and ends up forcing our knights to challenge it once or more than once. So that is nice. You know, obviously it would suck if you're just like, hey, my run's going well, I all of a sudden got the really bad passive and now have to restart the whole run. That sucks. That is really stupid. So I'm glad that they try to take that into consideration. We will check the data of your knight's play to reduce the difficulty sequentially, as in Icthernir. So, oh yeah, because Icthernir had like a bunch of these like crazy passives that they ended up nerfing pretty consistently. Like every couple of weeks they would kind of nerf one of the passives or something like that. So if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Nidhogg even deals with passives. Like I could be wrong, or maybe they're just so mediocre that I just never pay attention to them. I don't think they were. I literally just put out that guide today. I don't think there's any passives. If I'm wrong on that, I'm gonna look like an idiot. But yeah, I don't even think they did passives for Nidhogg, but I know Skull and Hati had them, and now Ratatoskr has them back. Anyways, the Demonic Beast battle was introduced with the Ragnarok story and has reached its 5th demonic beast. In the meantime, the demonic beast has been shown to you through the efforts and attention of many people. It was original game content that did not appear in the animation. However, thanks to the interest and participation of the Knights, it's able to establish itself as a challenge and unique content for Grand Cross. Please look forward to the various contents that will be presented to you later. In addition, we are currently preparing to reorganize aging content and systems which have been in service for several years. We are developing them so they can be present to Knights as soon as they are ready. Next, we will briefly tell you about the reorganization. So I have high hopes for this. I probably shouldn't, because dev notes are known to kind of like hype things up a little bit and then it being kind of lackluster whenever it finally comes out. But hopefully they can just, improve upon stuff that's, like the game modes we already have, and it not be completely tedious or like worthless, or the rewards are just lackluster, So first and foremost, content system reorganization. We would like to share more details about the content and system reorganizations that we are currently developing, which we communicated to you through our dev note in March. The reorganization will be divided into 3 major categories. First is reorganization of UI and convenience in providing information. Okay, the main UI of the tavern, which has become complicated and cluttered over time with the addition of various contents and system elements, will be simplified and reorganized to prioritize essential functions. In the case of the regular events, a dedicated event UI will be permanent on the enhance accessibility, allowing Knights to easily see ongoing events at a glance. I think that's good. Currently, I think if you look at the in-game really quickly, so when you're in the tavern, like, you can go to the festival events and stuff like that, but to see the actual ongoing events, you have to click the small little button in the bottom right of the festival thing, and then you can see which events are going on. So, like the Fort Solgris thing, or like whatever. It is kind of odd that it's like kind of tucked away behind a button that you don't even really see. Like, it's there, of course, if you know about it, but I could see new players just being like, oh, that's part of that little logo thing, and then just moving on. So, it is kind of hard to see a lot of the time. So if there's just a dedicated button that pulls that menu up, and I don't know, that could be kind of nice. We will create an exclusive page in the form of reward guide that allows you to check major rewards and progress you can earn from your core content and move to that content immediately. Okay, that actually sounds good. We provide convenience in giving information so that you don't miss out on main rewards, so you can earn during play. Okay, that actually sounds good. So if there's like a menu that's like, hey, you haven't done your demonic beast for the week, you haven't done your heroes arena for the week, you haven't done your PvP place, or like your PvP, stuff for the week. I don't know. Like there's a couple of like core game modes that give you good rewards each week. So it would be nice to kind of have all that information in one place, so that way you're like, oh, like, I just completely forgot to do my demonic beast this week, or like, hey, I forgot that heroes arena didn't get played this week, or whatever. So that actually sounds kind of nice, like, as long as it has the relevant information that you need. In addition, the battle menu with various main contents will be rearranged to focus on content with high importance and frequency of entry. We are also considering menu integration and route change for the equipment draw and item store, which are less frequently used. So, in the Valenti update on JP, I know that they have made it to where the gear gacha, which used to be in the shop menu, it's now going to be added to the summon menu where the banners are. Like, it's just on the far right section, like past all of the ticket banners and stuff. So that's kind of interesting. I guess it's just something I'll have to get used to. But other than that, they have also moved the Demon King icon on the top left of the tavern up here. They have moved it to the battle menu, and it actually replaces the equipment section right here, which I like. This equipment menu, it's actually kind of helpful if you're looking to try to get like specific pieces on certain stages. So I don't know if they just completely outright got rid of that menu, but I did kind of like it for easy access. But I could see it being a lot less useful than some of the other stuff that are in the battle menu, so we'll have to see how they continue to sort of reorganize that. Second is reorganization of routine contents and adjustment of rewards. So this one is, I think, a really big one. We are preparing for an overall reorganization of the daily content, so-called repetitive content. We would like to reorganize it to reduce the frequency and time of playing repetitive content, such as daily missions, Hawk Pass, and Fort Solgris, so that knights can play without burden and focus on the main content of the Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross. Okay, so realistically, if they just overlap a lot of this stuff, which it already kind of does, like whenever I'm done with my dailies, all of my Hawk Pass daily stuff is done. Like I'll have to go out of my way sometimes to do the weekly Hawk Pass quests or whatever, but other than that, they mesh really well. And then Fort Solgris is part of the dailies anyway, so I feel like as long as you're doing your dailies, this isn't like too bad. But maybe if they restructure it to where it's even more overlap, or just like I don't know, less that you have to worry about each day, that could kind of make things a little bit like quicker and nicer, I guess. In addition, we will thoroughly review the aging reward of some repetitive content to raise or strengthen efficiency based on the current demand and value of items. This is a huge one, honestly. Like some of the game modes that we've had, like the entirety of Fort Solgris is completely outdated at this point. Like, yes, you can still grind it for like good rewards and everything, but most of the time the higher stages don't even drop the highest level reward. So, like for example, if you're farming the gold stage, it doesn't drop UR chests, it drops SSR chests whenever you get the guaranteed. That needs to be bumped up. You drop 6 or 5-star XP potions instead of a 6-star XP potion. There's just a lot of like weird inconsistencies. Like, the game requires so many resources and stuff like that for modern characters to be completely leveled up now, that it would alleviate a lot of that if you could just make it to where the current content in the game gives you the highest level of reward. As long if it's something like super rare, like I can understand them not wanting to drop that. Like, they're pretty stingy with SSR pendants. They're pretty stingy with SA coins. Those are two really big bottlenecks when it comes to actually upgrading your account. I think for decent reason. Like obviously you don't want people to completely level up their box super fast, because then you're not going to have anything to work on. I have 19 characters left in my box to SA6. I have all of them level 100 at this point, and to be honest, once I get done with my SA6 stuff, like yes, I'll have to start working on True Awakening, but I'm not going to have nearly as much stuff to actually work on, because at that point, like I don't need to grind for SSR pendants or UR pendants or anything like that. I'll just get those naturally as I play the game, and I should be able to level 100 pretty much every new character that comes out, because I'll just be accumulating so many of those because I'm not working on my box anymore. Whereas like True Awakening, yes, like I'm always going to need SSR or SA coins and stuff like that, so I can trade them for True Awakening coins now, and blah blah blah. So that part I feel like is definitely going to be ongoing. But, you don't want people to finish too quickly. You want it to be somewhat of a grind, so that way people actually have a goal to work towards. So, like, I understand people are like, I just want it done. Like, I want to level up these characters. I don't have the resources. I get it. I really do. But there's so many characters in this game that are terrible. Just so bad. And I would love if they were all super useful. But you just kind of have to, like, pick and choose, prioritize certain characters with your resources and stuff like that. So that way you have the good ones and everything powered up. And, I mean, even then, like there's just so many characters that I had left in the box at the very end where I was like, I really don't even want to level this character up because they are literally useless. But, once those are the only characters left in your box that you need to level up, that's basically all you can do. So anyways, little rant over. Third, alleviation of content hurdles and enhance of guide. Okay, so this one's quite long, actually. While continuing the game service, the fact that various contents are prepared is a great advantage, but it can also act as a burden and hurdle for knights who have started or returned anew. Especially for the main content that is opened based on chapter clearance, it takes a lot of time and to experience the main content, because it has to clear a huge amount of story chapters, and we thought these limitations make it difficult to settle the game. Okay, so they're gonna change that? The Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross values the reproduction of the original story, and we consider the meaning of the story content to have an extraordinary value. They do a really good job of adapting the story. I have no gripes with that at all. However, it should be selectively played so that it is not forced as a way to for content opening. I can maybe see that. I do get comments from time to time from people saying like, hey, how do I fight the Demon King? Like, I see these people fighting the Demon King. I want to fight the Demon King. Or like, I want to be able to True Awaken my characters. How do I get those boxes and stuff like that? And it's just because you have to beat all the way up until like chapter 357 or whatever it is. And once you get to chapter 357, you're having to fight, you know, these Demon Kings in the story mode that are incredibly stupid, gimmicky units that are really hard to clear for the first time. And if you're newer, you know, and you don't have like high box CC or anything like that, some of these chapters can be like impossible. So locking content behind that, I could see that being a really big issue. Like now that I think about it, you know, newer players are going to have a hard time unlocking the most current stuff. So anyway, first of all, we are planning to remove or lower the entry restriction on content except for local setting-based content, deathmatch, so that the new or returning players can access core content more quickly. Okay, so it seems like deathmatches are going to be staying around the same, but the other stuff might actually get lowered so that way people can access it a little bit more quickly, which would kind of make sense, because if you could True Awaken your characters or, you know, some of the other game modes, like, you know, I think you have to be a certain way through the Ragnarok story to unlock certain demonic beasts or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Like, being able to sort of work on those, which some of the early ones are pretty easy nowadays, with like the amount of power crept characters we have. You know, if you could start building those holy relics up and stuff as a new player, those will help your box CC increase kind of early on. Some of the actual holy relics are decent, so it could actually help you in some regards. That could be kind of nice. Also, to settle down the new or returning knights more quickly, we will enhance the exclusive check-in rewards and reorganize the Hero's Way, which is the concept of growth guide missions to help grow step by step. So, they have reworked Hero's Way once before, where they updated it to give out more modern characters, or I say modern characters, but it was like more useful characters. Like, you get a green Danafor Liz for Belmoth, you get like a blue Slater for, I think it's Red Demon. Like, I don't know, they give out a couple of decent characters that are good, like prioritized units for the specific death matches. So depending on the like upgraded characters that they're going to give out through Hero's Way and like the check-in rewards, that could actually be really nice. That could help give like a really good starting boost to new or returning players, so that way they can kind of get back into the game a little bit more quickly. I'm 100% on board with that. Plus, if they reorganize Hero's Way, more than likely the entire player base will be able to do it again, which means just free rewards for people who already have them anyway, so that's kind of nice also. We will simplify the complex hero awakening by reorganizing it, as it currently requires a variety of items in a complicated way. By reorganizing, knights can grow various heroes without burden. Okay, in addition, we are planning to add a variety of benefits and support systems so that new and returning knights, as well as existing knights who are struggling and burdened by fostering, can grow quickly and experience the fun of content play. So, I'm not exactly sure what they're meaning by this. Complex hero awakening. So I'm assuming they're talking about like getting the character to level 100, SA6ing. I don't know, like, unless they're just planning on like giving out more rewards, which would be nice. That would be good. I'm okay with that. I don't know what else they'd be able to do. Like, they say make it less complex. I don't know. I mean, like, it is like complex in a way, but like I feel like each system is pretty straightforward for the most part. You just need the materials for it. So I don't know. We'll have to see how they sort of enhance that. Convenience and accessibility improvements will be applied gradually after the update in the middle of April. So they have already started working on it with the Valenti update. Large-scale modifications like reward adjustments and guide improvements are aimed to be released at the time of the 5th anniversary. So that should be at the end of end of May, early June, for us on global. So that's kind of nice to hear. It's not too far away, hopefully, where they start to actually improve some of these things. Next, we want to talk about the Season Festival event. So this is going to be interesting, I'm sure. This year, we upgraded existing seasonal events in the form of Seasonal Festival. The purpose is to enhance benefits and provide an opportunity to acquire more attractive heroes, allowing our new or returning knights to enjoy the game without feeling burdened in the spring season. I mean, okay. They're talking about adding this all of a sudden brand new spring awesome festival that Gother is the unit for at the moment. It is kind of odd. They just randomly were like, hey, we're just throwing another festival into the time slot. That's kind of weird, especially like, it's back to back. We just had Arthur literally as soon as his was over, the Gother one starts. It feels a little half-assed to me as well. Like there's no new title screen for the Gother festival. Gother himself seems a bit lackluster in the fact that he, everybody has already said like he just feels like he should have been an LR Red Gother, and I can completely agree with that. The unit feels mid as far as like new stuff goes. Like he doesn't actually seem all that interesting. He's not got like this brand new kit. He's literally just a new rank up Gother, which I mean rank up Gother's good, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to like downplay the unit, but like as far as like new cool interesting things that make people want to summon go, he not really it. So I don't know, the rewards are nice. I will agree that putting a seasonal festival time slot in this area, if you're already like who cares, Gother's whatever, you're basically just going to get away with like being part of another festival where you get a lot of festival rewards, and you don't even have to worry about the character at that point. So I mean that's good, but I don't know. I mean maybe just up the rewards in general. I think putting another seasonal or putting another like festival here, which requires 900 diamonds to get into after people are still recovering from New Year's. Like, they have to summon for the November festival. They got to summon for the New Year's festival. Then they wait a month or two, and then they got to summon for the Arthur festival. And then we have the Spring festival. Like, it's a little much, a little fast. And not to mention that they put Gelda as the mid-fest for Arthur. They are putting Valenti as a 600 banner, which is a demonic beast unit. Like it's just they're putting all of these characters that people really want to have on their accounts too compact together. Like nobody has the gems for this. Like unless you just spend money on the game or you're a content creator or something like that. Like regular players are tapped right now. It doesn't make sense to put it here. I don't know, kind of odd. However, Festival Heroes will be updated faster than previously. So the Knights will be concerned about the increase in burden and growth and acquiring heroes. To alleviate this, we adjusted the loyalty reward to appear starting grade UR heroes in the 300 and 600 loyalty through an update at the end of March. So I don't think that was enough. Like, you're either going to have to give out a lot more diamonds for the login event or just more diamonds consistently throughout the festival so that way people can actually scrape together enough to get, the character if they want to summon for it. Because just being like, hey, we made it to where you have a chance to pull them on the 300 and 600, like, that should alleviate it. Like, that's no. Like, the rates in this game pretty bad. So, guaranteeing a copy at 900 is quite a lot to ask for, especially for a character like Gother, who doesn't really feel like he deserves a 900 price tag. You know what I mean? Additionally, with the seasonal events being upgraded into a festival, we make sure to enhance the ability or the availability of essential items and to implement various methods to obtain them throughout the event period to match the increased scale. In the future, these parts will be provided to help Knights continue to obtain currencies according to the items they are holding. Items they're holding? What are they talking about? This kind of makes me think that they're gonna replace other seasonal like stuff. Like they do a summer seasonal banner. Are they going to do a summer festival now? Are they going to do a Halloween festival now? Because I mean, we already do like a festival like basically every 2 months, or like if not, like sometimes a little bit more time, maybe every 3 months. But we have a pretty set amount of festivals throughout the year, and bumping that up. Like, I mean, you don't get me wrong, this game is pretty free-to-play friendly. Like, you're not supposed to be able to summon on every single banner. Like, they want you to spend money. That's how the game is designed. But I feel like it was doable with the with the amount of festivals that we had currently, but making it to where like, oh no, like all of a sudden they're gonna add like festivals in between festivals, and now I'm gonna have to pick and choose whether or not I need to skip a festival banner or not. That's a little bit tougher because festival characters are typically very good and very essential to having on your account for like new modern content and stuff, or at least like staying on top of the PvP meta. But I don't know how I feel about that. That's not good in my opinion. Grand Cross grows with our Knight support. Please make sure to send us your feedback to help us improve future events. The survey we told you through the dev notes has been delayed a little in the process of translating to hear opinions from Knights from all countries. With most of the preparations currently completed, we will conduct a survey as close as possible to the dev notes this time. Please check the notice and the in-game survey web view for information. So like I said in the beginning, that is already out, so you don't have to worry too much. Finally, we'll give you a quick look at the preparation for the new IP, the 7 Deadly Sins, 4 Knights of the Apocalypse, that Knights may be curious about to include in the dev notes. Okay, so this is good. The story of the heroes of Grand Cross will come to an end with Chapter 30. The final Chapter 30 update is scheduled for the 5th anniversary, so they're finishing Grand Cross with the 5th anniversary in May, June. We are preparing to continue the follow-up 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, or 7 Deadly Sins 4 Knights of the Apocalypse, where the stories of the new heroes will begin immediately. The prologue, which makes the beginning of 4 Knights of the Apocalypse, is currently under development, aiming to be released in the second half of the 5th anniversary. So, somebody was asking me the other day if I thought that they were going to adapt the movie. So there's Cursed by Light, which is technically a canon movie. They did Prisoners of the Sky already in game as like a side story. That movie's not canon. That's the one where Elat comes from and Bellion comes from. Not really relevant to the actual overarching 7 Deadly Sins story or anything. Cursed by Light, like on the other hand, is actually like story relevant, kinda. Like, I mean, it's like a side story as well, but it seems like they might be just skipping over that for now. I don't know if they'll ever, to be honest, go back and do it if they don't just do it right away. But they also have the 2 Tristan movies. Tristan and Lancelot have 2 movies that were on Netflix or whatever. They're like 3D animated movies. Those are also in the game, or like out in the world, I guess, and they do not have those adapted or anything. So I don't know if they plan to get to those. It would be nice, but I think people are probably more excited about 4 Knights anyway, but I would like to see them go back and do those movies also. It's the new attempt that a single game title linked into a follow-up IP with the mind state of relaunching Grand Cross. We will be preparing to show an improved appearance, not just story, but also in the visuals and contents. Okay, that sounds like they're trying to gear up for like a wave 2 of Grand Cross, being like, hey, we're, you know, they said, I think it was last year, they were like, we're going to go back to the pre-launch mindset. This actually seems like a really good time to sort of just like really, you know, hunker down and like really try to make the game good again, improve upon the base game, like make people want to come back and play, because this is going to be moving into a whole new storyline that's new, interesting. So we'll see how they adapt it and like what changes they plan on making. So I'm excited. I want to see them do good. Through this dev note, we delivered the direction of the seasonal festival operation and the future improvements. We feel that making and serving good games is difficult and requires a lot of effort. However, we are working hard and enjoying development because there are Knights who always trust and support us. We will do our best to meet your expectations. We are sending you the best regards from the dev team. So, this is a very interesting dev note. It's really long. I'm already over 30 minutes on here, but there's a lot of like interesting stuff in here. The fact that they say that the second half of the anniversary is going to start 4 Knights, that leads me to believe that if I had to guess, we're probably going to get Percival on as the like mid-festival banner, because why would you come out with a brand new story chapter, like starting the new story, and not give us the main character? I would imagine that would probably be the case, which could be good, could be bad. If they do it as a 600 banner, it's like, hey, now we have Percival. But I could definitely see them like launching the new story with a festival and wanting to do Percival as like a, hey, like this is the beginning of a new thing. This is a festival character. Like he's going to be really good. You're probably going to want to spend 900 for this character. So it sounds like he would be the 600 banner in the middle of the festival, and if he is, that's awesome. I'm looking forward to it because Percival is a cool main character. I've been watching the show. I'm very interested to see how it goes, though. Like, I mean, you know, Four Knights is a great big old new story, and I'm interested in seeing how it sort of develops. And they do a really good job of adapting the story, so I'm looking forward to it. New festivals for the seasonal stuff sounds not great. I just hope that they're able to give out more diamonds, I guess, to sort of help alleviate some of that, because obviously, you know, people like to summon on festival banners. They have a lot of good value and everything like that, and if you're going to have to start picking and choosing on them, that's not going to be great. It's going to piss a lot of people off. So obviously, the less pissed off people we have in the community, the smoother things run. All of this content reorganization stuff sounds good. Honestly, like boosting old crap to where it's not crap anymore would be awesome. That sounds great. I'm all in for like a new UI overhaul and everything, making sure like all of the menus are, you know, sort of consolidated, have like things in better areas and stuff. That sounds great. I love when they do sort of like UI updates on games and everything. The new boss doesn't seem crazy. Hopefully, Valenti will make that a lot better. I know a lot of people are probably going to have to skip Valenti, so that's not necessarily great, but I would imagine if they do it like they did Nidhogg, who they might not, because Nidhogg was kind of a unique scenario where they came out with a holy relic to help with it, then they came out with a designated character to help with it. Like, there's, I don't know, they could still end up making a new holy relic to help here for an existing character, but because it's so like dot focused, like you need poison shot bleed, I think most of the characters, maybe Demon Hendrickson could be a useful one, because he's a demon character, so you'd have to replace Melee on the team to get full Valenti passive. I don't know, there's a couple of things they could do. I would assume they're going to come out with a brand new character at this point, but you know, I don't know, we'll see how things develop. I think the game is, I'll be honest, this Go Through Festival, it's been pretty boring. I've not really been all that enthralled with the game at the moment. I don't know. Like, it's just been kind of mediocre. Like, we're just all of a sudden in, like, a new fest out of nowhere. It feels not, you know, super exciting. I like, of course, the rewards and everything that we're getting, but, you know, big things are around the corner. The JP anniversary is going to be a huge one. 5th anniversary, that's a huge milestone. Hopefully they go all out with it, make some really cool stuff. Hopefully there's some new bosses and content and stuff like that to mess around with, like event bosses. They typically try to come out with a new event boss, you know, at least once a year, instead of recycling the 3 or 4 that they do. I'm excited to see how things progress. I'd love the game, honestly. The game is fantastic. I would not be playing it for this long if I didn't enjoy it. So I'm interested to see how things kind of progress. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this thing, though. Make sure you go do the user survey. I'll probably do that right as soon as I get done with this. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys had a good one. You know, let me know. You guys have a great day. Subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you guys tomorrow.